In this demonstration video, I'm going to show you how to make a stand replacing fire timeline using some increment core images and a template for the timeline, which is going to be a spreadsheet. So it's going to be in the Dendrochronology activity down in step 3. And so you should have already completed steps 1 and 2 at this point. For this, the first thing that you'll need to do is to download the timeline template. So there's a link to do that in the website. Once you download the template, you'll have to use the download manager to complete the download. And when you open up the spreadsheet, it will be in Excel format. So you need to be sure, if you're on your Chromebook, to convert that over to Google Sheets. And so you select File on the Excel spreadsheet that opens up. And then whenever you open up File, it'll give you the option to save as a Google Sheet, and you'll need to do that. Okay. So right now I'm going to go through the process of using the increment cores to place that information onto the template. What we'll end up with is something similar to this diagram that you see here that dendrochronologists use to kind of look deeper into the fire history in an area. And then from there, we'll also be drawing some conclusions. So let's go ahead and take a look at the template. So what you should have is something that looks like this. Within the template, be sure that you get your group name in there. And so I'm just going to call this Yockers for now. Class period, make sure you put your class period in there. And for me, I'm going to use the 0th class period. And one thing that you might notice whenever you make the conversion from the Excel into the Google sheet, that there might be some slight differences there in formatting. So for example, I'm just going to widen out column B so that my class period is looking a little bit nicer, that D hasn't wrapped around below. Okay, so within this, you can see, just to take a quick look at what we have years along our x-axis going off quite a ways to the right. And you can see that goes up to 2025. You have spots to put in information about the species of tree represented by the increment core and then the core number. So you can reference that again. And then along for each species that you have, or each increment core that you have a row that goes across, and you can see that there are reference years that are in the field that you can use to help you put in the information that you need. So I'm going to run through a couple increment cores with you to show you how to do this. And so over in the upper left-hand corner in cell A1, there's a link to the images provided by the U.S. Forest Service from the Deschutes National Forest that we looked at briefly in the slideshow. And so I just opened up the reference cores that they have from that study. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And what we're going to do in the demonstration is we're going to look at core 27 and core 20. Core 27 is lodgepole pine, and core 20 is ponderosa pine. So those letter kind of codes there, we'll be using those. And so you can see most of these are increment cores, okay, going all the way down to the last one there. This first one is a small cross-sectional piece. So like I said, we'll look at core 27 and core 20. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so I can see what's going on. And one thing on your worksheet, there is the convention that you can kind of see here. You can see a few little marks every so often on some of these rings. And so I'm just going to go back to the slideshow real quickly. And you can see this is the convention. This is on your student worksheet, what each of those kind of codes mean as far as the dots. And so the first one we see there with that first core we're looking at is 3 dots, and that represents a century year. And so in this case, if we go back to that, okay, you can see that's 1900. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. We need to get the first year for the tree, and then we need to get the last year for the tree. So if this, where these 3 dots are, if that's 1900, I'm going to go back till I get to the beginning point. And so 1900, we got 89, 88, 87, 86, 85, 84. And the centermost, if you remember, the centermost is the pith, and the pith is considered to be a part of the first ring. And in this particular case, they actually had the pencil mark in there, so that kind of makes it a little bit easier for us. So we have 1894. So that's my starting year for this one. So I'm going to go back to my, spreadsheet. Okay, and this was core 27, and this was a lodge pole pine. I'm going to put L little p big P for lodge pole pine. Okay, and our first year, if you remember, our first year was 1894. Okay, so we're going to go to our spreadsheet, and I'm going to go to, there's 1890, 1895, and so I'm going to put this one in at 1894. Okay, and I'm going to push enter, and that's the start. Okay, now I'm going to go back and find the last year for this tree. A little too far there. Okay, and I got 1980. Okay, right here is where that little dot is. 1981, 1982. So I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet, and I got to find 1982. So 1975, 80, this one right here. So 1982. I'm going to push enter. Now what I want to do is I want to color this so that it's easier to see. So I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to highlight these cells, and I'm going to go back to my starting point, 1894. And I'm just going to make this the same color as I have over here. You have a license to make that whatever color you like, that you prefer. And so that's not the same color. Is that the same color? I think that's, is that the same color? I don't know if that's the same color. So you can do that however you like, so that it, I think I meant to do this one. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to do one more for you. And so we're going to do the next one. So I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet. Well, not the spreadsheet. I want to go back to my, okay, so now we're going to go to the next increment core. Okay, so this is core 20, and core 20 is a ponderosa pine. So I'm going to go back here real quickly. I'm going to put core 20, and this is a ponderosa pine. So capital P, capital P. All right, so let's go back to our image, and let's see what year this one starts in. And once again, they try to give you where the pith is with the little line, but sometimes you can't really tell. And so you just do your best. So we're going to go to 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 94. Let's say 93, and then the pith is in that one. So 1893. So I'm going to go here. 1893, push enter. And now I got to take a look and see where my last is for this one. Oops, not too far. Okay, so we got 2000 here, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm going to say 2009 on this one. Okay, so there's 2005, 10. So right here, and I'm going to write the year in 2009. All right, and then I'm going to highlight once again. Okay. Then I'm going to go up to my color. I'm going to put in the lighter color there for that one. Okay, so there's my colors for that. So you're going to continue on and do that for the rest of your trees, and you can work in groups if you like. You can kind of split up some of the workload there by looking at the different cores individually, and then share the years that you have. And then whenever you're done with that, then you'll go to the worksheet, and you'll go down to, okay, you'll go down to part B of the worksheet, and then you'll respond to the prompts with the information that you have. Part of this, though, is that they're going to provide an additional set of information with an older cohort. And so this is similar to what you just did. So you're going to have to work with that to help you draw some final conclusions about the area with the stand replacing fire. Okay, so I hope that helped you with the stand replacing fire timeline.